What's up, Legends? Welcome back to Legends Nexus, where we bring you the stories that matter, fast and loud. Get ready for a rapid-fire rundown of the news that's dominating headlines. We're kicking things off with a massive shout-out to Robert Jones of Bricklayers Local, who's receiving major accolades from the International Union for his lifetime of service. Next, we're heading to Afghanistan, where the tragic August earthquake is exposing the devastating consequences of the nation's international isolation, according to scientists. This is a story with profound global implications. Then, we've got major international legal developments as Spain launches a significant probe into alleged human rights violations in Gaza. This could have far-reaching consequences. And we're closing out our news segment with a deep dive into the ongoing situation with Israel's occupation and its defiance of international law, following an unheeded ultimatum from the UN. It's a critical moment for global order. Don't go anywhere, and make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell on. A Union legend honored. Robert Jones, a cornerstone of Bricklayers Local, is receiving prestigious recognition from the International Union of Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers. This isn't just any award. It's a testament to 62 years of unwavering dedication and service that has left an indelible mark on the trade. Jones began his apprenticeship in 1963, quickly proving himself a hard worker and earning the respect of his peers. His career saw him rise through the ranks, working on major commercial projects and eventually serving on the Bricklayers Local 1 trial board since 1993. The International Union lauded his immeasurable impact, highlighting his wisdom, care for members, and commitment to equality, which they say will inspire future generations. Beyond his union duties, Jones has been a tireless advocate for minority members, mentoring countless individuals and helping them navigate the challenges of racism and bigotry in the industry. Brian Genuine, director of the BACADC of Eastern Missouri, called him a true unionist and even better man. Jones himself expressed deep honor and humility at receiving this international recognition after a 62-year career. The community is celebrating a man whose legacy is built on support, empowerment, and inclusivity. The impact of Robert Jones's dedication is clearly resonating throughout the union and beyond, with widespread praise for his mentorship and commitment to equality. Now, as we celebrate a legend in the trades, get ready for a story about a different kind of struggle unfolding on the global stage. But before we get to that, hold on to your hats, because the world of international relations is about to get even more intense. We're moving from union halls to the heart of a humanitarian crisis. Afghanistan's earthquake, a stark warning from isolation. A devastating magnitude 6 earthquake struck Afghanistan's eastern Kunar province on August 31st, claiming over 3,500 lives and causing widespread destruction. But scientists from the United Nations University are pointing to a deeper, more complex tragedy. The significant death toll is being exacerbated by Afghanistan's decades of conflict, instability, and increasing international isolation following the Taliban's takeover in 2021. A new damage assessment reveals over 13,000 buildings were destroyed or severely damaged, with some villages losing up to 90% of their structures. The report highlights how persistent economic hardship has led to fragile construction, with most buildings made of mud bricks or rough stone, offering little resistance to seismic activity. Dr. Manuchair Shirzi of UNUINWEH stated, "The August 31 earthquake in Afghanistan showed how even moderate earthquakes can cause catastrophic losses when fragile infrastructure and weak preparedness leave communities exposed. The situation is particularly dire for women and girls, who face severe restrictions limiting their access to timely medical care and aid, further compounded by bans on female education and employment." Professor Kaveh Madani of UNUINWEH noted, "Systematic exclusion of women from education, employment, and decision-making makes societies weaker and more vulnerable to disasters." The earthquake's timing, shallow depth, and pre-existing monsoon-weakened slopes also contributed to the devastation. Ultimately, the UNU's findings underscore that Afghanistan's international isolation has severely limited disaster relief, leaving its population incredibly vulnerable and setting a dangerous precedent for future humanitarian crises. The international community is grappling with the severe consequences of Afghanistan's isolation, with warnings of future devastation if action isn't taken. Now, we turn our attention to how one nation is taking a stand on the international stage. But this is just the beginning of our global deep dive. Keep watching as we uncover how legal systems are being mobilized to address conflict zones. Spain launches historic probe into Gaza rights violations. In a significant move that could reverberate across international legal circles, Spain's Public Prosecutor's Office has launched a special investigation into alleged violations of international human rights law in Gaza. This probe, spearheaded by top prosecutor Alvaro Garcia Ortiz, will meticulously examine whether Israeli military actions in the Gaza Strip constitute breaches of international law under Spain's criminal code. The decision follows a police report submitted in June detailing concerns about the Israeli army's conduct against the civilian population. Evidence gathered will be shared with the International Court of Justice, ICJ, which is already reviewing a genocide case against Israel filed by South Africa, a case Spain formally joined last year. The Public Prosecutor's Office emphasized that this action aligns with Spain's treaty obligations as a member of both the ICJ and the International Criminal Court, ICC. This significant step comes just days after UN investigators released a report accusing Israel of committing genocide and urging member states to cooperate with international courts. It also follows the European Commission's proposal for sanctions against Israeli goods and officials. The Spanish Ministry of Justice and the Public Prosecutor's Office have not yet provided further comment on the specifics of the investigation. This bold initiative by Spain signals a growing international effort to hold parties accountable for alleged war crimes and human rights abuses. As legal avenues are pursued, the situation on the ground remains dire, leading us to our next critical update. But the legal ramifications are only part of the story. We're about to explore the international community's response to a protracted conflict. Unheeded ultimatum: Israel's defiance of international law. 1 year ago, the UN General Assembly passed a resolution demanding Israel end its unlawful presence in the occupied Palestinian territory within 12 months, a call overwhelmingly supported by 124 nations. This resolution affirmed the International Court of Justice's, ICJ, July 2024 advisory opinion, which declared Israel's occupation policies and practices unlawful and demanded their swift termination. The UN demanded Israel withdraw from the territory, cease unlawful practices, return seized property, allow displaced Palestinians to return, and comply with ICJ orders regarding the genocide case filed by South Africa. Despite these authoritative pronouncements from the ICJ and the collective voice of the international community, Israel has responded with blatant defiance, intensifying its systematic displacement and dispossession of Palestinians. In the West Bank, Israeli forces have killed 180 Palestinians and injured thousands this year alone, employing excessive force and advancing illegal settlement projects that fragment the territory and restrict Palestinian movement. Settler violence against Palestinians, often with the protection of Israeli forces, has reached unprecedented levels, with little accountability. In Gaza, conditions have become catastrophic, with over 64,000 killed and more than 163,000 injured, much of the infrastructure in ruins. Israel has repeatedly blocked humanitarian aid, leading to severe food insecurity and famine in some areas. Around 90% of the population has been displaced, facing constant bombardment with nowhere safe to go. The Israeli government has also signaled intentions to deport Palestinians from Gaza, an act that could amount to ethnic cleansing. While some states have taken steps like banning arms transfers and trade with settlements, many have failed to uphold their obligations, actively facilitating violations and obstructing accountability. The UN's call for concrete steps from third states to ensure respect for international law has largely gone unheeded, leaving the question of Palestine unresolved and undermining the global rules-based order. Israel's continued defiance of UN resolutions and international court orders highlights a critical challenge to global governance and the pursuit of peace. With these major stories covered, it's time to wrap it all up. Stay tuned, because we're about to hit you with a rapid-fire recap of all the top stories and tell you exactly how to stay connected with Legends Nexus. And that's a wrap on today's essential news. We saw Robert Jones of Bricklayers Local 1 honored for his decades of service. The devastating Afghanistan earthquake exposed the human cost of international isolation. Spain launched a historic probe into alleged rights violations in Gaza, and we detailed Israel's continued defiance of UN ultimatums and international law. Don't miss out on any of our deep dives. Make sure you're subscribed, hit that notification bell, smash that like button, and drop a comment below telling us what you think. You can also follow us on all our social channels for more legends in the making. We'll see you in the next one.